good evening. My name is Richard. This is Over and Over and Over Again, and we are back for the new season with the Arsenal Women's Show. It's going to be a big season. It's going to be a big show this season as well. We have got some great stuff to come. Obviously, this is the season preview. So we are going to look at the transfer window. We're going to look at the pre-season matches. We've got the Champions League qualifiers to come this week as well. So we're going to look forward to them. And also, as well, we're going to look into the season in general and what our expectations are for Arsenal, of course, and also for where we think all the trophies are going to go, who's going to finish where and stuff like that. So lots and lots to get through. It's all coming up the other side of this. And of course, it's not an Arsenal Women's Show without Andreas joining us. How are you, my friend? Are you well?
Yeah, thanks. I'm fine. Yeah, it's been a while, and for me, it's been too long. No Arsenal women game, no Arsenal Women's Show since May. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and we have a great show. I hope you're okay too.
Yeah, it's been a good summer actually. I decided to take quite a break away from football and stuff, and just to refresh the batteries really, and it's been good. But yes, I've missed the show. It has been a long time, as you said, so it's good to be back, and there's a lot to look forward to this season as well, which we are going to get into. We've got Greg with us as well, of course, one of our regulars. Good evening to you as well, Greg. Hope you're doing well. Great to be back. It is great to be back, isn't it? And it's great to be looking ahead to a week where we're actually got some proper games. We've had some friendlies which have been all right, which we'll talk about, but to have some proper games, competitive football again, to see this brand new team as well with some new players, which we are going to look at. So what better place to start? I know it's still open, the transfer window. It's not actually shut yet. There may still be some more activity before it does shut, but let's have a look at what we've done so far. So we've made three, I think, really, really big and exciting signings, actually. Obviously, from the picture there, Mariona Caldente, of course, is probably the biggest name, of course, that we've signed. And, obviously, Viv left, as we know. We talked about that at the end of last season, and we know how disappointing that is. But if we was looking for a player who can replace her in a lot of aspects of her game, we haven't done bad by getting Mariona to join us, have we? I mean, experienced player, very, very technical, can score goals, can create goals, can play in that number 10 position where Viv was playing, can play wide, can play through the middle. She's very versatile. But the main thing I like about her more than anything is she's a winner. And I think that's so important in this team because you can't have too many winners in your team, can you? And I think that signing her is, even, regardless of if we kept Viv or not kept Viv, signing Mariona is a fantastic sign. I mean, Andreas, we've all seen her play against us a few times in the Champions League. We've seen her play for Spain, obviously, against England and stuff like that in tournaments and whatever. She is a fantastic player, isn't she? But do you think she's going to really fit into this team? And I think that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah, that will be the question. She's a great player. She's an experienced player. And one of the things I read first is, she's too old. She's moving after her peak. No, she's 28, the same age as Viv, and the discussion was, or the complaining was, how could Arsenal let Viv go? We discussed it, and I think we should look forward and not look backwards. So we signed a very experienced player who won titles in Spain, and she won the Champions League. And playing for Barcelona. We all know the results from the Spanish league. Barcelona is miles above every other team. So she's used to play against low blocks. What has been our problem last season? The same in Champions League. They are facing smaller teams, teams that go into the match against Barcelona and say, if we can keep a draw, that would be fantastic. Or let's defend as good as possible and keep the 0-0 as long as possible. So Mariona is used to play against this style that caused so many problems for us. So I think this is one aspect. And as you said, she's a winner. She knows how to win trophies, how to go into decisive matches, how to play finals, and the challenge. Also the mental challenge of these big matches, of finals. She knows how to deal with this, and I think she can show the younger players how to deal with this pressure of important matches. So and what we saw from her in the minutes she got in the preseason matches, it's totally different what she brings to the team. I think her best position would be as a winger, but she has ideas and she creates chances. She creates spaces for the others, and that's important. And she creates chances for others, for Alessia, for Beth when she's playing again, or Frida, or whoever. So this will be important, and I hope that Jonas uses her to her best, or brings the best out of her. I saw interview with her. She's speaking English, well, not perfect English, but she can communicate with the players, with the girls. So this is important. And she's not the first Barcelona player in our team. We have Laia Codina. So also this helps a bit. And I'm really excited to see her fit in the team. And I think we can expect a lot from her.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you've summed it up really well there. I mean, that's exactly what it is. I mean, we have got a very, very good player, a top player, one of the best players in the world, in actual fact, currently playing. So, yes, we're all disappointed that Viv's left. Of course we are. But as I said, as a replacement or as a player that we're bringing in, we can't really have got much better, I don't think, in terms of the quality and the mentality. And like you said, having Laia Codina there, I do think it's going to help. Someone that she knows already, that speaks the language and this, that, and the other. And I do think that's important, help her settle in quickly. But she seemed, what we've seen of her, we haven't seen much of her in the friendlies, bits and pieces, but she's looked good. She looks as though she's settling in. She looks as though she's getting on with the girls and stuff like that. And I think that's important. And I think she could prove to be such an important signing and such an important player for us this season. I really do. And, yes, we'll talk about it in a minute. Is this all we're going to do, the 3 players that we've brought in, or is there more going to come in? But for me, signing her is a big statement as well, isn't it? Bringing in one of the most experienced players in Europe, who's, like you said, won Champions Leagues, won the World Cup with Spain, won every single trophy going that's possible to win. So let's hope she can come and win a few for us as well. That's the dream, isn't it, for over the next couple of seasons that we've got her at least. So yeah, brilliant stuff. But of course, as exciting as Mariona is to bring into the club, I mean, for me, signing that goalkeeper Daphne van Domselaar has absolutely made my summer. I mean, if anyone who's watched the show for the last 2 years will know that I've constantly gone on about how great a goalkeeper she is and how much I've wanted Arsenal to sign her. We first saw her in the Euros 2 years ago. She came on in their first game against Sweden, where we were at. Young goalkeeper at the time she was, thinking, who's this? She came on and she played really well in difficult circumstances. But for me, it was the quarter-final game. We were at Holland against France. And she was literally a wall to stop France scoring. She made so many saves that night. And I said after the game that was one of the great goalkeeping performances I'd ever seen. And that's including men's football as well. Her performance that night was sensational. The only goal that beat her was a penalty, and she almost saved that. She went the right way, got a hand to it, was really unlucky. So that was almost a perfect goalkeeping performance. And I said after that game, I want this goalkeeper at Arsenal. And she ended up going to Aston Villa, didn't she? And I was so disappointed, thinking we've lost an opportunity to get this great player. But of course, as it's turned out, we've got her finally 2 years later, which is fantastic, isn't it? And I'm so excited to see her, because we've all said here, haven't we, that the problem's been Manu Zinsberger makes mistakes at crucial times. She's cost us goals. As much as we like, as much as the great job she's done, we've been talking about it far too many times for it to not be an issue anymore. And I think we need to really, we needed to look at a goalkeeper. We thought Sabrina might have been the one to have taken her place. Didn't quite work out for one reason or another. But for me, Daphne is going to be very, very quickly our number 1 goalkeeper. I mean, how do you feel about the new DVD joining us? I mean, it's great news, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic news, and I was really happy that we signed Daphne. Unfortunately, she still had problems with her injury she had last season, so she was not in the squad in any of the preseason matches in USA, and also not against Southampton. So I'm sure that she won't start in the mini tournament now against Rangers or in the final. Hopefully she will be in the squad, but I don't think that she will play because she hasn't played with the defense. So there's no real connection. But of course, Daphne is a player for the future, and if she's not starting right now, I'm sure she will compete for the number one spot. And as I see it, I'm sure she will become our number one, because everybody knows that. Oh, welcome back, Richard. Yeah, everybody knows that I'm not the biggest fan of Manu Zinsberger. Yeah, her dedication to the club and her passion and everything. It's okay. She's a good shot stopper on the line or in 1-versus-1 situations, but the corners, crosses, it's her weak point over all the years. And one of the goals we conceded against Washington Spirit, I think it was a cross.
Yeah.
To the 6 yards box, and she came out. And if the goalkeeper leaves her line and comes out, she must have the ball or fist it away. Yeah. And she didn't get the ball, but we conceded a goal out of this, and this was a typical situation. And I'm sure during the season Daphne will get her minutes, and if she performs as she did for the Dutch national team, then she will be our number one in foreseeable future. As I said, unfortunately, she won't start the first matches because she has not yet played with the team, played with this defense. So Manu will start, and of course, every player that starts for the Arsenal gets our support. So Manu is our goalkeeper, and let's support her. But for the future, and Daphne is 24, I think this was a great signing. And I'm sure at the end of the season, we will talk about Daphne van Domsela as our number one. I hope so.
Yeah, I think it won't be that long. I think what will happen is she'll get an opportunity, and whether it's in hopefully in the Champions League group stage that we're going to be in, hopefully, which we'll talk about obviously a bit later, but hopefully she'll get a chance. And I think that once she gets a chance, she will grab it. My only slight concern is, Sabrina came in, a year and a half ago, played some games, played pretty well, I thought. It did well. Okay, she had that big mistake against Manchester United, didn't she, last season, where it cost us probably a win. But overall, I thought she did pretty well. But she wasn't able to take over that number one slot, was she? She got games here and there. And my worry is that even if Daphne comes in and does well, which I expect her to do, is she going to be able to convince Jonas to take over from Manu long term? I'm hoping so. Just what happened with Sabrina kind of worries me a little bit. Now, I think Daphne's a better goalkeeper than Sabrina. I don't think there's much doubt about that. So hopefully she'll prove herself and she'll earn her place and it'll be deserved. But that's my only slight reservation, is because he seems, Jonas seems to have ultimate reliability on Manu, doesn't he? He seems to pick her in all the big games every single time, and he has done that since he's been at the club. Even I say we've had other goalkeepers that have tried to break through and they've not really been able to take her place. So let's hope that, nothing against Manu, as you said, she's been a good goalkeeper for us. She's won us some trophies, and we can't disrespect or anything like that. But I think, and we've said it on the show, I know you feel the same, that she's maybe past her best, and we've needed to look for a replacement long term. Now we've got one, and I'm sure it is definitely the best option. It's the goalkeeper I would have bought a year ago anyway. 2 years ago I'd have bought her, but it wasn't possible then. But I'd have certainly bought her before she went to Aston Villa. It didn't work out there. I'm not quite sure why. I know she had a few injuries and whatnot. So let's hope we can get her fit. She can be the goalkeeper I know she is from what I've seen of her. Brilliant. And I can't wait to see her playing for us in the team. It's a 2-year dream of mine to have her at Arsenal. Now she's here. It's fantastic. So I hope it works out well for her, because I've been saying I wanted us to sign her for a long time. And of course, on top of those two great signings, if that wasn't enough, we've suddenly discovered this Rosa Kafelja, who, to be honest with you, I didn't know too much about. Obviously, coming from Häcken in Sweden, which is where we signed Stina Blackstenius from as well, isn't it? So, and obviously Jonas will know her anyway, obviously from Sweden. She's supposed to be one of the best young players in Europe. I didn't really know too much about, but what I've seen of her in pre-season, I'm really, really excited. She looks a talent, doesn't she? Wow. I mean, she's 21, I think she is. A great age to be signing a player like that. And she looks like she's got real quality. And I can see her being a great player to watch. You know, her and Mariona in that front line is going to be exciting, isn't it? I mean, did you know too much about her before we signed her, Andreas? Or was it kind of a little bit out of the blue for you? I know we'd heard the name mentioned and stuff, but I didn't really know too much about her as a player. Did you?
No, to be honest, I haven't known too much about her. I knew her name. I knew that she's one of the upcoming talents from Sweden.
Yeah.
And then, I read that a lot of big clubs are interested in signing her. But the rumor that Arsenal is in for her, it came late, and then it's gone very quick. The first rumors, and then a week later, it was she's definitely coming and signing. Yeah, fantastic. What I saw from her against Washington Spirit, against Chelsea, or against Southampton, absolutely fantastic. She's 21, and when she signed, I read about big talent, and she can make the next step in the WSL, etc. But now, after the first matches I saw her, I must say she's a starter. She's not a squad player. She's a starter. She's a number 10, and she has brilliant ideas and creates chances. She makes the surprising passes, not what you expect. She risks something, and you risk a pass, and then she creates chances for the others. And I heard a podcast. I think it was this Swedish journalist Amanda Zaza. She spoke about Rosa Kafelja in highest words. And one thing I remember, she said, Rosa is a fuck you player. She's like Katie McCabe also. This mentality of it's a tough match, or it's physical match. That doesn't interest me. Fuck you. I'm going through. I'm playing my pass nevertheless. Amanda Zaza said that's a player Arsenal was missing in the midfield. Has great midfield players, Wally, Kim, Frida, but they are not the most physical players. And Rosa, although she's only 21, she's physically very strong, and she showed this in these 3 preseason matches where she played 45 minutes or 30 minutes. She already showed this, that she can be a starter for us. And I would like to see her in the starting lineup for the Champions League matches that are coming now, because she brings this momentum, this surprising ideas, these passes, what we were lacking last season. So a great signing. And if you compare it to other young players we signed, Catherine Kuhl, very talented, but physically not strong enough, not as strong as Rosa seems to be. So I'm very happy with this signing.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I've exactly the same. I mean, I didn't really know much about her as a player. Only what I've seen her in those 3 appearances that she's made. But yeah, she looks a brilliant player. And I think that as long as she can deal with the pace of the WSL, which is a lot quicker than maybe where she's played in Sweden and in the friendlies that she's played so far, if she can get the grips with that quite quickly, she is going to be one hell of a player for us. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think the unpredictability of what she's going to do is going to, once our own players have got used to her and know what she's going to do a bit more, it's going to really confuse a lot of opposition, because some of the positions that she takes up on the pitch, she's going to be so difficult to mark, isn't she? And I can see her causing some big problems for other teams this season. And I think, again, like Mariona, it's a position and a type of player that we've been lacking. And, for me, that's what you want your transfer window to do. The areas of your squad that you may be lacking and you're a little bit weak, you need to fill those. You need to fill those positions and strengthen those areas of the team, because that's the only way you're going to improve. It's no good just buying players that are the same as what you've already got. You need to improve on the areas of the team, and that's exactly what we've done. I wasn't expecting us to sign 5, 6, 7 players this window. I didn't think we needed to. We needed to sign a goalkeeper. We have. We needed to sign a replacement for Viv, which we have, and we've signed now one of the greatest young players in Europe as well. So it's, as things stand at the moment, it's happy days, and I'm delighted with what we've done. And there's still time, of course, to maybe do some more business. And of course, as well, we've kept some of the players. I mean, I thought Stina was going to leave, I've got to be honest. You know, with the amount of game time she was getting last season, pushed out a little bit due to obviously Leslie's performances and the fact that, you know, Jonas wanted Leslie as the number 9, and it meant Stina didn't play as much as she should have done maybe. And I thought she was going to leave, but, you know, luckily, he's managed to convince her to stay, which is great news. We haven't seen much of her yet in pre-season, but obviously we know what she can do. So that's great news. We seem to have kept all the, I mean, okay, we know we've lost Viv, but we've kept all the other players that maybe we're a little bit concerned about with contracts and stuff like that. Everybody seems to be on board with what's going on behind the manager, behind what direction the club are heading in. So, and we've added to it with 3 brilliant players of the positions and the type of players that we desperately needed. So far, I don't think we can have any complaints at all about the transfer window. I don't think. You know, I think it's a really, really brilliant transfer window. Greg says there are 3 great signings, but still very light in central midfield. I think that, yeah, what makes me agree with you is, of course, the injury to Vicky, because she was so brilliant in that position last season, and we're going to miss her. There's no question about that. You know, she was so important in so many big games last season. You know, the Continental Cup final, for example, where she was just a performance in that game. You know, she bullied Erin Cuthbert all over the pitch, and that doesn't happen very often. And she did that in a lot of games last season, and we're going to miss her. There's no doubt. And I kind of agree that if her injury hadn't happened, I would say we're fine. We don't need to worry. The fact that she's injured makes me think, yes, we could maybe do with one more body in midfield. You know, yes, Kyra's probably going to get more minutes now because of the injury to Vicky, and we know what a great player she can potentially be as well. But I would like to see maybe that. If we didn't get one, I wouldn't be overly worried. You know, yes, okay, Kim and Wally tend to maybe miss a few more games these days than they used to with injuries and stuff, but we know what 2 great players they are. And I say Kyra's going to get a lot more minutes this season anyway. Maybe Vicky will be playing in the second part of the season anyway, so we may not miss her for the whole season. So, you know, but yeah, if we can get one more in, absolutely do it. I agree, but I think we're okay in that. I mean, what do you feel, Andreas? Obviously, Vicky's going to be a big loss, but do you think we've got enough in those positions anyway, as things stand, or would you like to see maybe one more come in there in midfield?
I see 2 problematic zones for us, and that's we are 1 winger short, I think, after Chloe Lacasse left again. So yeah, as wingers, we only have Beth, Caitlin, and Mariana. 3 wingers for 2 positions for 4 competitions. That's a bit.
What about Leah? What about Vivian Leah?
Yeah, she's very young, and yeah, there may be matches where you can bring her on, where you can sub her, but the big matches, it's difficult. And in midfield, that's the problem with Wally and Kim, very injury prone, and we all know that they won't make 30, 40 matches per season. It will be 4 or 5 games, and then they will have a smaller injury or something and need a break. And that might be a problem. But yeah, I thought that we're 1 short in midfield, but after the preseason matches, I'm so delighted about Katie Reed in as centre back. She has a fantastic development. She's 17 years young. I think she will turn 18. I hope she will get a pro contract from us. And then this might open if needed, if necessary, it might open Leah for number 6 position. If we have injury problems, if Wally is not available, maybe Kyra can't play there, whatever happens, this could be a possibility that Leah Williamson plays on the number 6, the holding midfield, because we surprisingly we have the preseason gave us one more centre back, which whom I didn't expect to come through, and Katie Reed. Yeah, fantastic. I think Rosa Caface and Katie Reed were, for me, the players of the preseason for Arsenal. Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously Leah has played in that midfield position for England quite a few games. I know it's not a favoured position. She said that herself when she's played for England and stuff like that. But we know she can do a great job there because she's such an intelligent footballer. She's great with the ball. Her passing is brilliant. She anticipates things. She doesn't need to fly into tackles because she's in the right place and she breaks up play, and we know she can bring the ball out from the back and this kind of stuff, and she could do a good job in that position potentially, but I think that would depend on a few different factors at the back as well, because she's so important at the back, the leader of the team really back there, isn't she? And I think taking her out of that position might not necessarily be the right thing at this particular moment in time. And we will talk about Katie Reed a bit more when we get onto pre-season, because I agree with you. She's been phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. What a talent she is. And yes, maybe in the future, I can see maybe that being the case, and maybe Leah will move more into that midfield position potentially. But yeah, I would like to see one more player come in. If I'm honest, I would, just to complete the squad that I feel then will be covered. If it is a midfield player, particularly, I think that would cover us. So yeah, let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks or so. Emerson's with us, says, evening, Richard and Andreas. Evening, my friend. Hope you're doing well. And then we've got Terry as well. Good to see Terry after the summer break. He says, good to have you guys back. It's been a long summer. It has, but it's an enjoyable summer. I've enjoyed it anyway. He said, hope you're doing well. And Andreas looks 3 years younger than he did at the start of last season. It's good. He hasn't got to worry yet, has he, of all the games that's coming up. That's what makes us our age, isn't it? The stress of the game. We haven't had any games for 3 months. That's why we're all feeling a bit younger, aren't we, than we were in May, which is good. Sounds of us, well, it doesn't sound good to see. It says, hopefully we can win the WSL title. Well, yeah, hopefully we can. Exactly. That's what we all want to see. That is what we all want to see. We will look ahead to the season as well a little bit later on as well. Terry says, on the rumour side, is there anything about Kira Walsh incoming? It's been quiet, hasn't it, on that side of things? I don't think we're going to get her, unfortunately. I really don't think we are, but maybe it's a surprise one that comes out of the bag, like the Raheem Sterling one for the men's team. Maybe the last day we'll get a big name coming in that will make everyone happy, but we'll see. Greg says, Cole, Marnham and Hurtig aren't good enough cover. I think Marnham is good cover. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'd include her in that. I think Katarina Cole's got potential. She will need to step up this season, I think, definitely. She obviously was out on loan last season. Is she going to go on loan again? Probably not now with Vicky's injury, but she'll need to step up. I mean, Lena Hurtig, we just haven't seen enough of her to really pass judgment on her. Is she good enough? Is she not good enough? She's shown moments when she's played, but her injury issues and one or two other things have gone on, and she's hardly played. So I don't really want to judge Lena Hurtig. I've been disappointed with her in terms of what she's been able to contribute since we've had her, but I'm prepared to give her the opportunity to get some game time and really see what she can do. And before we decide if she's good enough or not, I think there's something there. I think she's shown glimpses when she's played in one or two games that I think she's looked good. And thinking if she can keep progressing and more time on the pitch, we could see an important player. We need a wide player. She plays in a wide position, so I think she could be an important player. Andrea said we're a bit short there. If she can step up, keep fit, who knows? Maybe she's going to be the answer there. But we haven't seen enough of her. So I don't necessarily want to say she's not good enough, because we don't know. If she can't play much this season due to injuries, then I think we need to get rid of her. Obviously, the point is keeping a player that can't play. But I'd like to think that she can get some opportunities and get fit and play more minutes, and we can see what she can do. She's an international footballer. Jonas knows her, obviously, being Swedish and stuff like that. I've seen bits and pieces of her to think she's got something there. So let's say it's going to be a big season for, isn't it? Because it's make or break, quite honestly, for Arsenal, isn't it? And if she doesn't play any games or many games, then it's not gonna work for her, is it? Sam, so I'm a season ticket holder for the Arsenal women's team. It's been 2 years since I've been a season ticket holder. Oh, fantastic! That's great stuff, isn't it? Good that you're getting a season ticket and enjoying what's going on. It's been for 2 years you've really seen the growth, haven't you, in terms of the crowds and stuff like that, and the interest has grown in 2 years. It's been a great time, hasn't it, to be following the team. So yeah, brilliant, and I'm sure this season is going to be even better than the last two. Let's hope so. We're certainly looking forward to it, aren't we? So yeah, the transfer window, I would say, so far in terms of obviously ingoings and outgoings, Andreas, what would you give it out of 10 at the moment? Bearing in mind we've still got a week or a couple of weeks left of the window, what would you give it at the moment with how things are now?
Oh, that's very difficult because losing Biff and Chloe, yeah, we made 3 good signings. We should do another one. So I can only go for 7 out of 10. Great signings, but they must show that they fit in the squad now in competitive matches, not only in preseason matches. They have to prove this. Yeah. It's difficult to say. As we said, one more signing, then maybe it would be an 8. So I go for 7, and yeah, let's hope in a few weeks we'll say, oh, it was one of the best transfer windows we could imagine.
If we win the league at the end of the season, it would have been the greatest transfer window, wouldn't it? Because, that's the way it works, isn't it? You tend not to know how good a transfer window has been until the end of the season when you see how well the new players have done. You can look at them on paper and think, oh, great signings. But if they don't work and they don't settle into the team, then they're not going to be good signings, are they? We can only judge on what we know at the moment. I mean, Terry's gone 6.5, still too short. Okay. I think that's a little bit harsh of a score, if I'm honest. With the 3, yes, I'm not saying we couldn't do at least one more, but I think with the players that we've brought in, 3 players that we needed, and 3 very good players from all accounts. So I think that's really, really positive. Yes, obviously, I think we've all had time to maybe adjust to Viv leaving. I think now it's been a while since the end of last season, and I've kind of moved on from that really, and I think the team have moved on with Mariona coming in. And yeah, we are still maybe one short in midfield, I would say. Obviously, Chloe Castelline was a bit of a shock, actually. They come out of the blue a little bit, didn't it? And suddenly she's gone, and you're like, oh, well, okay. She looked a good player last season. I would be tempted to. I would, as things stand at the moment, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to say 8, and maybe a lot of that 8 is because we've signed Daphne, which was one I've been dying for us to sign. So maybe that's giving it more points than I maybe should have. But I'm quite happy with what we've done. I mean, if we get one more in, and it is in midfield, then we're looking at a 9, aren't we? A 9.5 window, to be honest. With the players that we've brought in, and we've lost a couple, but I don't know. I'm happy. I'm happy with the window. I've got to be honest. Sam says, I like both the Arsenal men's and women's teams. Want them both to do. Yeah, we all do. Exactly right. We want all the Arsenal teams to do well. The under 21s, the academy teams, everybody. We want them all to do well, don't we? Greg says, Terry's right to challenge on 4 fronts. We're still short. No, I'm not saying we not necessarily are. Are we 2 players short? You never know what injuries you're going to get. It's difficult to say. As things stand at the moment, when you look through the squad, we've almost got 2 players in every position, apart from that midfield position where we've got some injury issues, and I think we do need extra in there. Terry says Viv, exactly. Yeah, we've forgotten about already, Terry. Absolutely right. Players move on, they go. That's it. That we forget about them, don't we? But no, of course we won't forget what Viv did for us. But yes, we are got a big game coming up, haven't we? Her first game of the season, she's back, so we can't forget her for too long, can we? Even if we wanted to, because she's going to be back at the Emirates very, 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 very soon. This month, in fact. So, of course, we've had the transfer window has been okay. Let's hope there's more to come. I'm pretty happy with it. And of course, for once, we seem to get almost a proper pre-season issue as well. So 2 games in America, obviously, with mixed results. Although the performances were quite similar. I didn't think we played badly. We didn't play brilliantly in either game, but we did okay. We maybe was unlucky to lose against Chelsea. A draw was probably the fair result, and obviously we managed to beat Washington despite not being at our best. But that's what pre-season's about, isn't it? Getting minutes. It was good to see a lot of the young players playing, and of course we did mention her before, and we can't not talk about pre-season without mentioning Katie Reid. Wow. I mean, I said it in the Washington Spirit game. She looked like Leah Williamson. The way that she plays the game, she's got that kind of look about her, the way that she reads the game. She's calm, she's good with the ball, and I kind of think that yes, okay, it's only pre-season, it's not the same competitiveness as we're going to get in the competitions that we're playing, but 17 years old, and she came in and she performed as she did in these 3 games that she's played in pre-season. Wow, I mean, it's just incredible, and we all love the young players coming through our academy, don't we? Getting into the first team and playing, and we love to see. Obviously, Leah Williamson is there, and I think Leah Williams is the perfect player for her to be learning from. And you can see she's clearly spent a lot of time watching Leah Williamson play and basing her game on Leah's. You can just tell by the way she plays, and she was absolutely brilliant in all 3 of those games in pre-season. Just absolutely incredible. I thought personally, for me, she was our best player in all 3 games. I honestly think she was when she played. She didn't start them all, but when she was on the pitch, I thought she was our best player in all 3 games. Absolutely brilliant. And if she can keep developing, yes, she's not going to go straight in the team. She's not going to play in these Champions League qualifiers. She won't start. She may well come on at a point, but she's not going to start games at the start. It's still, this season's about learning, isn't it, and stuff like that. But if she carries on developing, actually, she's going to play for England. She's going to be an England captain. She's going to be an Arsenal captain in the future. She's got everything going for her. Really, she has. She's level-headed. And she's such a talent. I mean, Andreas, how good was she in pre-season? I was shocked at how good she was, honestly. She looked like an experienced player of like 24, 25 years old, the way she played. Just incredible.
Yeah, fantastic. And not only these 3 pre-season games, it was also at the end of the season when we traveled to Australia and played this Australia All-Star team. Katie was also in the starting lineup, and she had a very, very good match there down under. And and the 2 games in US, I was so surprised by her. And she's tall, she's strong in the air, and and she's so calm at the ball. That when you play back to her, you don't have to be afraid. What is she doing? Or will she lose the ball? No, she's calm, and she has the eye for the other players, and she knows where to pass. You can always pass to her and not be afraid that she loses the ball. She's confident to go in tackles or in challenges with the opposition players. It was fantastic performance from her, and I think Jonas was also positively surprised. That's the reason why he started her again and again. And in US, she played the most minutes of the whole team, and she has a bright future ahead. If she can play alongside Leah or Lotta, then she can learn from players who paved the way for her generation. And she seems to be a player who watches the others and looks at these role models and wants to learn. And I think she learns a lot. You could say from one match to the next, she has learned and adapted things to things. And it was a good decision not to send her out on loan, because I think she is ready to play in the WSL. Maybe not in the big matches against City or Chelsea or United, but there are other matches like Brighton, like Everton, West Ham. This is the level she can play. She can start, or she can come in for 30 minutes or so and learn. Playing alongside Leah, it's the best she can have. And I was totally impressed by her. I think in 2 or 3 years, we will speak about a lioness, Katie Reid.
I definitely, I can't see any other. I mean, barring horrible injuries or something, I can't see any reason why she won't be. You've got you look at the current Lionesses team, obviously Millie and Leah have been the two main centre backs. Obviously Alex Green was there as well, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of real quality other players pushing for the places. And I think that, like you said, in a couple of years' time, a couple more years' experience, she's going to be there. And wow, I mean, I was absolutely amazed at how brilliant she was in those games in America in particular, particularly the Washington Spirit game. I mean, that was an incredible performance. She was just stopping everything, blocking things. She was just winning the ball. And like you said, so calm under pressure. She's not bothered, is she? Give her the ball. She can have two players around her. She's not bothered. She'll keep us. I don't think she gave the ball away once in that game. I don't think she gave it away. I don't think she made a mistake in the whole game. She was just brilliant. And for someone that young to come in and do it, yes, okay, it's Washington Spirit. They're not a WSL team, and that they probably wouldn't do that well in the WSL. But they were into their season. They were much sharper than we were. And she still performed like, yes, she was looking tired towards the end, but wow, what a performance that was. That was one of the best performances I've seen from an Arsenal player at that age. Just incredible. So yeah, brilliant future for her. And of course, pre-season is, I never look at results too much. I'm not particularly bothered necessarily about the results. What I want to see is new players settling in, young players being given a chance like Kate and one or two others. And you just want to see some sort of plan for the season ahead, don't you? The way we're going to play and how we're going to sort of do things differently. My only concern with pre-season was going back to a little bit what happened last season. We created quite a lot of chances, didn't score that many goals. We wasn't very clinical in front of goal, was we, in those games? We had quite a lot of chances against Chelsea, couldn't score. We could have scored more against Washington. Southampton was another game where we had a lot of chances. We won 3-0 in the end, but we could easily have scored 5 or 6, and we're not. And that was what let us down last season, wasn't it? We created, didn't score enough goals. And that's my slight worry from pre-season, that, yes, okay, Marionas needs to settle in a bit more. Rosa needs to settle in a bit more. They're going to add something, I'm sure. Steen has hardly played due to one reason or another. And obviously, we know she gets goals. But that's my only concern, really. I mean, did that worry you a little bit, Andrea? Because it looked a little bit same old, didn't it, with the chances that we had without scoring, particularly the Chelsea game. It worried me quite a lot, actually, because we could have scored 4 or 5 against Chelsea, didn't score any. And that's happened so many times last season, didn't it? The Tottenham game, for example, West Ham, loads of games where we should have won and we didn't because of that reason. And have we sorted it out, or is it just a matter of the new players need a bit more time as well? And obviously Stina needs to get herself fit again and back in the team.
Yeah, I think the Washington game was the first preseason game. So, and the Washington Spirit is middle of their season, and they are competing for the title in the NWSL. So they're a really good team. And I think Alessia Wusso was on fire in this match. Both goals she scored were brilliant and were typical for Leslie. The first was a quick reaction and taking the ball out in the air and scoring. And the second was also such a typical Leslie goal. So I think she was on fire, and that was good to see that she's scoring or continues scoring goals. In the Chelsea match, we gifted them this opportunity to score, and Chelsea did what they do. If you offer them a little bit space or a chance, then they use it, and they scored. They offered us a big opportunity too with errors in defense, but we didn't use it. We didn't score. That was the difference. But it's preseason. Everybody is just starting to roll and finding together. I think in the first match, we didn't see Mariana play. She came in the second against Chelsea, but only in the last 15 or 20 minutes. So it's not the team with which we will start the season. The problem is that we have to start on Wednesday with a competitive match and with a knockout match. So we have to prepare there, and it's totally different to last season when we had 1.5 week or 2 weeks with a team together, and then without playing any preseason match, we had to go to this mini tournament. It's totally different this season. Of course, we could
Yeah.
score, or we should score more goals. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, players are coming in, or finding together. Rosa, Mariana, Stina will be back. Yeah, let's hope we solve all these problems we had last season, and especially when it's coming against low blocks. And Rangers will be a low block on Wednesday, I think. So yeah, no excuses. It's a knockout on Wednesday and knockout on Saturday again.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're going to look into those games as well. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's nice to have had a pre-season, because, like you said, last season we didn't really get one due to the World Cup finishing late, and then we were straight into the qualifiers, and you could see that those qualifiers was our pre-season basically last season, wasn't it? That was our pre-season, and I think the fact that we've had 3 games of differing opposition, like you said, Washington Spirit that are in middle of their season, Chelsea, who are similar to us, looking for a friendly, get a lot of minutes, a lot of substitutions they made under new manager, of course, and then a championship side in Southampton who was a good test to play. I thought that was a decent game to have as well. So, I think that the pre-season has been good. Yeah, I'm still a little bit worried about the chances, but yeah, it's pre-season. It doesn't matter if you score 6 or 7 goals in a pre-season game if you don't score when it matters. Let's be honest. So let's not get too worried with it. My slight concern was the similar problems from last season didn't seem to be particularly solved, but the fact that we've got these 2 new attacking players that have just come into the team and Steen has been missing, I guess we just need to take that into account and say, okay, let's do it when it matters. Let's take our chances when we have to take them in the big games that matter, starting on Wednesday, of course. And we'll see. Terry says, I don't know if you've mentioned her yet, but that Rosa girl looks a class act against Chelsea. She showed them no respect. Love that. Yeah, we did mention her before, and that was one of the things that we did mention about her as well. That she's got no fear. She's not bothered about reputation. She's going to play her football, and she's not going to let anyone stop her. So yeah, she's going to be a great signing for us, I'm sure, when she really settles in. Sam says that's the problem with both the Arsenal men and women's team. We have a lot of chances and don't always take them. Yeah, exactly. And it's the hardest thing in football to score a goal, isn't it? You can have all the ball, you can have all the chances, but unless you stick them in the net, you're always vulnerable to dropping points and losing games, which is what happened last season, didn't it? So we hope that when it matters, we're going to get it right. But yeah, that's the only thing I'm worried about. I thought the rest of the pre-season was good to see so many players get minutes, young players as well, and lots of different options and different players in different positions and stuff. It was good, I thought. I enjoyed it. Terry says, my only concern is Arteta and Edu are still at the club. Jonas is the best manager at our club. Yeah, well, of course, Jonas is the best manager at the club. We know that. He's the one winning trophies, isn't he? That's what we want to see. But yes, so pre-season was good. The transfer window's been pretty good as well. But the time for talking has finished. Of course, it all starts on Wednesday evening, and we know what happened last season in the Champions League qualifiers. We cannot let that happen again. So, Champions League qualifying Wednesday night is the first one. It's a knockout game against Rangers. Of course, the advantage is we're at Meadow Park, of course, which is fantastic. And secondly, the Scottish League isn't the greatest league in the world. Rangers are a decent team in their league, score a lot of goals, win games quite comfortably, but that doesn't really mean a lot, does it? It's the opposition that you're playing against. We should be much better than them, and we should be able to win the game. I don't think it's going to be easy. I agree with you, Andreas. They are going to obviously come for a low block. They're going to hope to try and unsettle us and try and get a goal from a set piece or something like that and take a lead, and then it's going to be really difficult for us, isn't it? But if we get anywhere near the level that we're capable of with the players that we've got, we shouldn't have too many problems. At Meadow Park as well, where we're very, very difficult to beat, let's be honest. We don't lose too many games at Meadow Park. In fact, I think the last 2 or 3 seasons, we've only lost maybe two or three games. I can think off the top of my head, Chelsea and Man City have won there. Can't think of too many other teams, and that's the sort of quality that's the caliber of opposition that come to Meadow Park and win. No one else seems to be able to do it. So I can't see anything other than an Arsenal win on Wednesday. Not going to take it for granted, not going to underestimate Rangers. We are a better team than them, and I think that's the important thing. But I fully expect us to win on Wednesday. I'm not sure how easy or comfortable it will be, but I do expect us to win. I mean, Andreas, how are you feeling ahead of this game? Because it's so important after last year. We cannot afford not to get through, not just these 2 games, but the next 2 after that if we get through. We've got to make the group stage this year, haven't we? There's no excuses now.
Yes, we have to qualify for the group stage, because this is the big stage, and a club like Arsenal has to be among these teams on the big stage. It's for this season. This is a must, and I think it's also for Jonas this do or die situation. He has to qualify with his team for the group stage. Otherwise, he will have really problems. I think the whole club, everybody has learned from last season. I don't want to say we underestimated the situation last season, but there were the special situation with the World Cup and the team coming together 1.5 weeks before the mini tournament and no preseason. But we learned from this. We had a real preseason with 3 matches, and we are hosting the mini tournament. I think this is a very important point. Last season we went away to Scandinavia. You have to travel there. I don't know exactly, was it artificial pitch or something like that? And now we are at home at Meadow Park with 3,500 Gunners behind them, and this will help the feeling of being at home, and everybody knows how important these 2 matches are. And I think it was Jonas who said in press conference or an interview, this mini tournament is the most difficult stage in the Champions League, just before the final. In every round, you play your opponent, the opposition team, twice in the 2 legs knockout stage, and then in the group stage you play every team at home and away, and then it's quarterfinal and semifinals with home and away. But in this mini tournament, it's only 1 match against every team. So this is very difficult. And of course, I expect Rangers to play a very deep block, to park the bus in front of their goal and defend with 8 or 9 players. This will be difficult, and we have to find solutions. I hope that Rosa or Mariona are players who find these solutions, these spaces. And as long as it's 0-0, everything is possible. Don't fall behind. Don't concede a goal by a corner or by a free kick or something like that. Then it will be very difficult. Rangers scored a lot of goals in the Scottish League. I think they had 4 matches already, and they won 11-0. The last one at the weekend was 10-0 for them. So I think Rangers know that they are playing in a weaker league and that they are the weaker team, but they have a lot of self-confidence by scoring so many goals, and nobody expects them to qualify for Champions League group stage. If they do, it will be a sensation, and they can celebrate as if they had won the Champions League. So there's no pressure on them, but a lot of pressure on us. But if you make the head-to-head and look at the teams, we have the much better team. We have a lot more quality in the team. We should be able to find solutions against Rangers. And I'm always someone who says respect every opponent and don't underestimate an opponent. So if we go into this match with respect for Rangers and with respect for the situation of a knockout match, then I'm sure we will win. I'm pretty confident as it is at home. I've never lost a match at Meadow Park when I was there, and I will be there. So all circumstances are positive, and we will win. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll win as well. It'll be a major shock if we didn't. Let's be honest, especially at Meadow Park. I mean, I'd be a bit more concerned if it was somewhere else and we was away or we was up at Rangers and stuff like that. It'd be more difficult. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Greg says my only concern is Williamson is our most creative player. Well, until now, but now we've got Mariona and Rosa, so I don't know if she will be our most creative player this season, but we shall see. Greg says we'll beat Rangers by 3 or 4 goals. Saturday is more worrying. Well, Saturday's going to be a more tough game. Of course it is. That's, if you get through a semi-final into a final, you expect a tougher game, don't you? Terry says 6-0 Stroll. It's all clicking into place this season. Well, we wouldn't have expected anything less from you, Terry, to be honest with you. I did a 6-0 prediction, would we? Even in the first game of the season, that's fine. Sam, so I don't think it'll be easy on Wednesday against Rangers. I'll be at the game. Oh, good stuff. Well, if you see Andreas, say hello to Andreas because he'll be at the game as well. We need a score prediction, Andreas. Obviously, you expect us to win. What do you expect us to win by? How many goals?
I was thinking about 3-0 or 3-1. I don't trust our defense not to concede, especially if Rangers get 3 or 4 corners or free kicks. So we will concede 1, but I'm sure we'll score 3. So I say 3-1 for us.
Well, 3-1 will do. We go through, no problem at all. And then we can. It'd be nice if we maybe got to a situation where we're maybe 3 or 4 goals up, so we can maybe rotate and rest players ahead of Saturday. Because as Greg rightly says, Saturday's going to be a much tougher test you would expect, depending on the result of the other game. But we kind of expect Atletico Madrid to go through, don't we? And that would be a much tougher game. But let's get our job done first before we worry about Saturday too much. Because let's be honest, if we don't win on Wednesday, then it's almost irrelevant, isn't it? So yeah, we need to obviously beat Rangers. I think we will. Yeah, I kind of agree. I think Rangers may well score. They obviously they do score goals in their league. Yes, it's a different level, but they may well score because yes, I agree. We do tend to concede stupid goals, don't we, from time to time? So I wouldn't be surprised if Rangers score. But yeah, I think we'll be far too strong for them going forward, and I think we'll probably score 4 or 5. I'm going to go 5-1. I just feel optimistic, so I'm going to go 5-1. I think in the end, our quality. It might not be an easy first half. It might be quite difficult to break them down, but I think once we do, I think we've got the quality and we should be able to score a few goals. I'm sure we will. So that's what I'm going for. Sam says I'm going 2-1. Oh, okay, 2-1. Well, I mean, 2-1 will do. Let's be honest. We win the game, go through. When you're in knockout football, it's all about winning the game, isn't it? It doesn't matter if you win 6-0 or you win 1-0 or 2-1, whatever it is, as long as you go through. So, yes, I'd like to see a performance that makes us believe that Saturday is going to be a good day as well, rather than struggling to beat Rangers and then thinking, well, we're going to have to play someone better on Saturday and we can't guarantee that we'll be able to win. So let's put in a good performance against Rangers and let's show them that, everybody that Saturday isn't going to be too much to worry about in the end. Greg says that with Zins in goal, you've always got to think the opposition will get a goal. Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's just her. I think what tends to happen is she tends to bring panic to the defence in front of her sometimes, doesn't she? Especially from balls into the box. She doesn't take command of it. And I think that's what the problem is. So, yes, I agree. And Andreas agrees. So, Greg's gone 6-1. Yeah, and that probably would be a fair enough score. I'm going to go 5-1. But, yeah, 6-1 will do. 3-1 will do. 2-1 will do. Let's be honest. 1-0 will do. Let's just go through. But I want to see a performance, really, to make us believe that this season is going to be better than the last couple of seasons, certainly in the WSL, where we haven't quite been at that level that we need to be. And obviously, getting into the Champions League, it has to happen. If we get knocked out, whether it's Wednesday, whether it's Saturday, whether it's in the 2-legged game that comes after that, if we are not in the Champions League group stage, then I think serious questions need to be asked. Quite honestly. There's no more excuses anymore. We've got to be in that group stage. So let's get through it. It's important. It's a big game. And for that reason, it's not going to be easy. But I think in the end, we should be too strong for Rangers. And I think we'll win. Meadow Park is the place. Andreas has never lost there. We're not going to start now, are we? Let's be honest. We are not going to start on Wednesday losing for Andreas at Meadow Park. So don't worry about that. We're going to win. We're going to go through to the final on Saturday. So Saturday night is going to be very, very important again, isn't it? So, yeah, hopefully we'll be celebrating on Wednesday. We'll be celebrating on Saturday. And then we can look ahead to the more bread and butter stuff of the WSL, which, of course, does start in a few weeks' time. Of course, that game against Manchester City. But what are we thinking about the season to come? So, of course, there's that picture there of the WSL trophy, which I'm sure all of us are wanting to see Kim Little with at the end of the season, parading it around the pitch at the Emirates. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? And I think we've got a great chance of having a great season. It's never easy to win anything, let's be honest. You know, winning trophies isn't easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it, and they don't. Very, very few teams win trophies. You know, we've got four at the moment. We've got 4 potential trophies to win, and winning one of them is a good season. You have to say, whatever one it is, we've managed to be lucky. The last 2 seasons, we've picked up a cup, not the one we would have all chosen at the start of the season. Of course, it isn't. It's probably the 4th out of the 4, isn't it? But a trophy is a trophy. And, you know, to win any trophy, you've got to beat some big teams. We had to beat Chelsea to win this one. And last season, last 2 seasons. So if we're going to win trophies, we're going to have to win some big games and beat some big teams. And I think we look a lot more in better shape, I think, to do it this season in terms of the squad, in terms of the players that we've got. I think Mariona being this winning mentality that she's got, Rosa seems to have it as well. And, you know, we've got winners in the team already. So I'm actually really optimistic about the season. You know, I'm not going to go over the top and say we're going to win the quadruple, we're going to win everything, because that's so difficult. It's difficult to win anything, but I'm optimistic it's going to be a good season. I'm excited about the season. I think that we can build on these last 2 trophy winning seasons that we've had. I think we've got a great squad of players. We seem to have a good spirit. The players seem to enjoy playing together, and I think that's important. And if we can just, you know, if Jonas can just tweak 1 or 2 things tactically in certain games, and we can be a little bit more clinical in the big moments in these games, then I really think we're going to have a great season. I mean, Andreas, what are your realistic expectations for the season as things stand now going into the start of it this week? What do you think is realistically possible with this team as things are at the moment?
It's possible to compete for the league title, no doubt about that. But for me, still, Chelsea and City are the teams to beat. If I see their squads and what they did on the transfer market, these are the 2 top teams, I think, but we can challenge them. And if we look back on last season, we got 9 out of 12 points against City and Chelsea in the league. So we didn't lose the title against the big teams, but we lost the title at West Ham, at Spurs, and at home against Liverpool. These were the matches where we and away at Everton, 2 points. These were the matches where we lost the league, not in the big game. So this should give us confidence, and the players self-confidence, that they were able to beat the big teams. And on the other side, City and Chelsea know, against Arsenal it's very difficult. We lost more points against them than we won against them. Especially City, they lost both league matches against us, and they lost the title with the 2-1 defeat at home in stoppage time. So they know how difficult it is to beat Arsenal. So this should give us confidence. But when I see the squad and what they did on the transfer market, it's still Chelsea is the team. The team to beat, but they have a new manager, Sonia Bonpastor. How does her ideas, her tactics work with this team? Of course they bought the experience with Lucy Bronze, but they lost Jess Carter, and we don't know when Sam Kerr will be back, or Mia Fischer with their ACLs, and when they are back, in which condition. So there are also lots of questions. And for City, the big question is how can Gareth Taylor fit into the team? Will she be the number 9 or the number 10 behind Bunny Shaw? If you only see the names with Lauren Hemp, Bunny Shaw, Chloe Kelly, Mary Fowler, Jill Roth with Miedema, who should beat them? They should be able to score 4 or 5 goals in every match. But yeah, you have to do it. It's, as we said last season, it's a difference between the names on the paper and the players on the pitch. Do they work properly together? Does it fit together? And I think City will need some time. They are in a different situation than last season when they went into the season with nearly the same team. Only Giroud was coming as a new signing. This time they have signed a few players, and yeah, they must show how they fit together. Maybe it's good to play them very early in the season. And for Chelsea, the problem might be the new manager, new ideas, new style. That's also for us. Of course, we have also 3 or 2 players to integrate in our system, but the rest of the team is grown over the years. And yeah, and for Jonas, it's, as I said, a do or die season. He must at least compete for the title. No one can say you must win the title, but you must be able to compete for the title until the last day of the season, not being 9 or 10 points behind in early March, as it was last season. So I think we are able to compete for the league title, and both cup competition, both domestic cup competitions are possible. Everything is possible in these competitions. And for Champions League, we must qualify for the group stage. We must be able to play on the big stage. That's what I expect from the team, and then let's see how the season develops.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You can't ever expect to win anything. It's not easy to win trophies, especially a league title. Especially in the WSL, because there's so little room for error, isn't there? You can't afford to drop points in the sort of games that we did last season. I mean, we were up against it from day one, wasn't we, when we lost to Liverpool, and we were always playing catch up from that point onwards. And drawing with Man U in the second game, we were 5 points down after 2 games, and that's difficult to come back from in a Premier League season with 38 games. But in a WSL season, it's even more difficult, isn't it? When you look at the number of games that there is, and you can't really afford to start like that. You can't afford to drop that many points. Yes, we've got a difficult start again against Man City, but I kind of agree that playing them early in the season is a good thing. The fact that we would have had some competitive games as well before. I mean, they may well have as well the 2-leg game that they've got, I suppose, but hopefully we'll have that as well. But it could be a good time to play them. And I think if we start the season well in the league, if we can beat Man City at the Emirates in that first game and go on from there, then I think we'll have a big chance. Definitely, I agree. We'll have a big chance of winning the league, or like you said, of challenging for the title. And I think that's maybe the best way to look at it, really. And yeah, hopefully we can do that, and I'm sure we'll all be happy. But yeah, the cups, I always feel that we've got a chance in all of the cups, just because in a one-off game we're one of the top teams anyway, so we're difficult to beat, aren't we? And it isn't very often in the cup games that in the FA Cup last season we lost to Man City. The 2 seasons before we've lost, or 3 seasons before we've lost to Chelsea. We don't often lose to anyone else, do we? And we are capable of beating those teams. As you said, last season we picked up a lot of league points against all of them, didn't we? Like you said, 9 points out of 12. So there's no reason why we can't go on and win 1 or 2 of those domestic cups. Certainly, we've had a good record in the League Cup, obviously the last 2 seasons in particular. So yeah, the league's hard. The WSL is tough now. It's tougher than it's ever been. The players that play in the WSL, even the so-called weaker teams from a few years ago, are a lot stronger. We found out last year, we lost to Tottenham for the first time. We lost to West Ham. These are teams we normally would have beaten. And yes, part of that was down to our mistakes on the day, but also the fact that those teams have improved. They've improved. And to compete in the league, you've got to improve as well, haven't you? So you don't drop points in those games. And that's, hopefully we've learnt those lessons, and this season we can put it right. But let's see. Let's start well. I think it's important to start well. Last year we lost our first game at home at the Emirates and we never really recovered. This season we've got to start better in a much more difficult game. as good as Liverpool were last season, we should have beaten them in the first game. We didn't, and we know why. And hopefully we've got no excuses this time. Sam says there, how do you think the game will go at the Emirates between Arsenal and Manchester City? Do you think we'll win? I think we can win. We've got a decent record at home against Man City. Yes, they did beat us in the cup, but that was at Meadow Park. I think at the Emirates, we've improved our performances at the Emirates, haven't we, in the last couple of seasons? The more games we've played there, the better we've got. We haven't lost too many at the Emirates in the last couple of seasons, have we? So I certainly expect us to get a result. Whether or not we win or we draw, I'll maybe wait until we've had the Champions League games first, and we'll look at it maybe after that and see. As things stand at the moment, I think we won't lose. Can we beat them? Yes, of course we can. Will we beat them? I don't know. I've not been thinking too much about that game because these Champions League games are more important now because they're here now and we've got to get through. So I've been focused and thinking more about those games at the moment, and Man City will come more into my thinking when we've got through these. But of course we can beat them. We'll have to play well, obviously, of course we will. And I think the Viv factor is going to be quite important. I think there's a lot of pressure on her coming back the first game as well. She's going to be well up for it. There's no doubt about that. She's going to want to prove a point or two, I think, in that game. And I think maybe one or two of our players might have a point to prove against her. So, we'll see. It's going to be interesting her against Beth, isn't it? Actually, that's going to be quite interesting to see how that plays out on the day. But yeah, it's a lot to look forward to in that game. But yeah, of course we can beat them. But let's get the Champions League out of the way first, and then we can worry about Man City. Greg says the only time we were outplayed last season was Chelsea away. Yeah, absolutely, it was. Yeah, and we know what a terrible, terrible performance that was. Terry says I put that loss Chelsea down to dodgy socks. Yeah, well, I don't think any of that helped, did it? Let's be honest. The delay in the kickoff and all that kind of stuff. Just I don't know what went wrong that night. Everything seemed to go wrong, didn't it? Let's be honest. Yeah, Greg says hopefully we've got a new kit man this season. Well, yeah, I'm sure they've learned a lesson from that. And yeah, it's not going to happen again, is it? Let's be honest. So he says let's hope so. It was embarrassing, yeah. And unfortunately, the performance that followed was quite embarrassing as well, wasn't it? The way we played in that game, certainly for 60 minutes, just that was terrible. But anyway, Terry has gone 3-1 against City. Well, that's a good. I think it's too early to predict the Man City game because we've got so much football to play between now and then, and obviously Man City have got some games as well. So yeah, so let's wait. Let's wait before we predict that one. But yeah, I mean, let's hope we can win. Fantastic. If we start the season well, I think if we beat Man City first game, that really sets us up, doesn't it, for a real title challenge? Like we did when we beat Chelsea in the first game 2 seasons ago. In Jonas's first game, that really set us up for the season, didn't it? And we almost won the title. And I think beating Man City in the first game at the Emirates this time would have a similar impact on the season as a whole going forward. So it's a massively important game. But we'll have a show before then anyway, and we will obviously go over the prediction and whatever on that particular show and stuff like that. But yeah, I think for the season overall, I would be disappointed if we don't challenge for the title and at least win a trophy, another cup. Obviously prefer the FA Cup, of course. I'm sure we all would. But I think if we challenge for the title, go head to head with Chelsea again, and Man City, and then we win the FA Cup, have a good campaign in the Champions League as well, then that to me would be a good season. Would be a good if we can win the league. Well, I mean, or more than one trophy, fantastic. But for me, I think a trophy, a title challenge, and a decent run in Europe isn't beyond the realms of possibility. I don't think that's over expecting stuff for the season. I think that's reasonable to expect with the team that we've got now and where we are overall. So that would be my kind of expectations. What would be your overall expectations? What would you be satisfied with this season?
Yeah, as I said, competing for the title until the last day of the season. Then okay, let's come. What is then? If we win the league, fantastic. This would be a dream. We all want this. We're waiting desperately for winning the league since 2019. But I would be satisfied if we compete for the title until the last day, and if we challenge for both domestic cup competitions. Yeah, of course, the triple for the League Cup would be nice, but playing the final FA Cup final at Wembley would be something special. And it's 3 years now that we played the final. It was in this COVID year when Chelsea outplayed us in December, I think, in the Wembley final. It's time for us to be back at Wembley. This would be fantastic to reach the FA Cup final, and as I said, the Champions League, at least group stage. If not, then I would be disappointed, and I think this would give us a very bad start for the season if we go out in Champions League, and we would have problems to find our feet in the league if we have a bad start in Champions League. So let's have a good start there. It's 3 matches before. It's the Rangers match, then hopefully the final against Atletico or Rosenborg, and then the first leg of this second round qualifiers, all before the league starts. Let's have a good start, and as I said, competing for the title, reaching FA Cup final at Wembley, I would be satisfied with.
Yeah. I mean, FA Cup would be fantastic. It would be fantastic. The FA Cup, there's no doubt. We haven't won it for a long time. That would be great. Obviously, the league's a big one that we all want to win. Of course, we do. I mean, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? So let's see. Angie's River said, "Good to see you." She says, "Good evening." And Man City is a must-win. Well, it's a very, very important game. Of course, it is. Yeah, absolutely. And then says, "WSL, FA Cup, good run in Champions League." You don't want much, do you? But no, I mean, there's no reason why we can't achieve something like that this season with the squad that we've got. There's no reason why we can't. Yes, there's good teams we're up against. Of course, there is. It's not easy, but there's nothing to suggest we haven't got the capabilities of doing that. It's just, can we just put those little issues from last season, improve on them, and we'll have a great chance, won't we? Terry says, all my predictions on this show tonight are my own thoughts. But you don't want them to be your own thoughts, though, Terry, because you're not allowed your own thoughts. You've got to think what they want you to think. So try and think of it like that. Keir Starmer's an Arsenal fan, though, isn't he? So I'm sure he will predict Arsenal to win. It's the only thing he's got going for him, actually. In fact, it's almost embarrassing that he is an Arsenal fan, but let's not get into that too much. Greg says, League, FA Cup, Conti Cup, nothing less. Oh, wow. I mean, that's a bold statement, obviously, but that would be, and again, I don't see there's any reason why we can't think that that's possible, because it is possible. We've got a squad of players that are capable of winning trophies this season. And I don't see any reason why we can't dream of that kind of a season. Whether or not in reality that's going to be possible with the number of games that involves now, with the opposition that we're up against, the WSL isn't like it was, when we were winning it year after year after year. We were unbeaten in 108 games, whatever it was. The league's not like that anymore. It's so much more competitive. You can't afford too many slip-ups anymore, and you're playing against good teams every week. We saw last season, we were losing games we would ordinarily not have expected to lose, and that can happen. Not just to us. I mean, it's not just us, is it? Other teams lost games you wouldn't have expected them to lose in the last couple of seasons. Chelsea have lost some silly games that you wouldn't have expected them to. We have. So we just need to be consistent with our performances, take our chances, stop the stupid conceding the number of stupid goals that we did from set pieces, and we've got a chance. We have got a chance of doing that, doing those 3 things. Absolutely, we have. But whether we will or not, let's see. Greg says, unfortunately, Star was Arsenal. Yes, he is, unfortunately, but I don't think he is. Him and Piers Morgan, you got to think, right. We've dug up some really bad fans, haven't we, with them two? I mean, what have we done? What's the club done to deserve Keir Starmer and Piers Morgan as fans of Arsenal? What have we done to deserve that? Honestly, it's ridiculous. But anyway, it is what it is. Terry says, Greg, I'm loving the way you're thinking. Well, yeah, it's good to be positive. It's good to go into a season wanting to win a lot of trophies, and we all do. But I don't know how possible it is now to win those 3 trophies in the same season with the competition that we're up against. I'm not sure if that's realistic to think that we can do it. I'd like to think we can, and it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? But winning the league or the FA Cup, and doing well in the Champions League, to me, it would be a decent season. I think if that happens and we're sitting here in May looking back on the season, and that's what the season's been, I think we'd all have to be happy, wouldn't we, with the season overall, and say, you know what, we've progressed from the last couple of seasons, and yeah, I think we'd have to be happy with that. I think anything less than that, yes, I think we'd have rights to start asking questions, saying what's going on, why are we not doing better, why are we not challenging more, why are we not doing this, that and the other. But yeah, let's see what happens. Sam said, I agree, just like the Arsenal men's team did last season, going all the way in the title race till the final day. Hopefully the Arsenal women do the same in the WSL titles. Yeah, hopefully we can win it. Hopefully we can win it. I mean, there's nothing worse, is there, than like it happened to the women a couple of years ago. We're in the last day of the season, you end up coming second, and it's not what you want, is it? It's even more disappointing in some ways, but you've got to be there to be in with a chance, haven't you? And you need to give yourself a chance, and that's what you want to do. And says, go one better, women go invincible. Well, let's see again. Yeah, it would be nice, but I can't see it actually. And says, Rangers, yeah, exactly, Rangers first. Yeah, let's get Rangers beaten first. Exactly, that's the most important thing. Terry says, Andreas, by Christmas, me and Greg will probably be arrested. We could both come and stay with you. Well, yeah, I mean, it's looking as though Germany's, we were saying this before earlier on today, Germany's a place to go at the minute. It's looking like with the new government they're likely to get. So we might all move to Germany, actually. That might be good. So maybe that's the future. We'll see. And says, major progress. Yeah, that's what we want to see. We want to, I mean, I wouldn't say major progress because we're not far off. Last season, although you look at the points in the league, you think it's quite a long way, but look at the small margins in all those games that we lost. You know, the Liverpool game we mentioned, Tottenham, West Ham. We could easily have won all three of those games and won the league last season. And, you know, the FA Cup game against Man City. When you look at what happened in the FA Cup, you know, a little bit more luck in that Man City game, it could have been us winning the FA Cup as well. So, you know, we're not miles away, are we? We're not miles away. But, yeah, if you're not there, it feels like you're miles away. It feels like you might as well be 100 points off the league if you're 1 point off, really, doesn't it? I suppose. But yeah, let's make those improvements that we need to and see where we are. Greg says they are probably monitoring us. Yeah, they definitely will be. Absolutely no question, they will be. Carlton says there, hopefully we'll have some luck on injury front this year. Yes, I mean. So far, the signs haven't been good, have they? With Vicky Palova's injury already, you know, we're missing her for a long time. But yeah, hopefully that will be it, and we won't get injuries. Yes, and that's important as well, isn't it? Absolutely. You can't legislate for that, though, can you? We found that out 2 years ago. We lost so many players, didn't we? One after the other. It was ridiculous. And I think the fact now that, you know, Beth's had a season back, Leah's had games back, I think those two are going to have better seasons this year. And I think that's going to help as well, isn't it? Because I don't think either of them two were at their best last year. Viv wasn't nowhere near her best last year. She hardly played. So, yeah. Terry says, yes, Ange Invincibles has got a nice ring to it. Well, it does have a nice ring to it, yeah. But I'm not sure if that's possible. Greg says, we've got a keeper now. We won't give away silly goals. She's not actually, well, no, but she needs to be playing first, doesn't she? She needs to be playing. And at the moment, she's not going to be, is she? She's certainly not going to be playing this week, I wouldn't imagine. Although, let's see. But yeah, you're right. I think we've got the best keeper we could have possibly got. So I'm delighted about that. So I'm excited for the season, actually. I'm excited about the season coming. I think there's a lot to look forward to, isn't there? You know, there's a lot of excitement about it. You know, we know the games at the Emirates this season, there's a lot more of them. Most of the home games are there. And I just think that this is the season where, you know, we've led the way, haven't we, in the last 2 seasons in terms of crowds. You know, we're the team that can draw the crowds. You know, we've sold out at the Emirates in the WSL. We've sold it out in the Champions League. We're the team that have made, off the pitch, you have to say, what Arsenal women have done has led the way. There's no question about that. Probably since the start of women's football really got going. And, you know, we've been the leaders. And for a while, we were the leaders on the pitch as well, because we got everything right, and we were miles ahead of everybody else. Everybody else has caught up on the pitch now, you know, because that's the way it's gone. But off the pitch, we are still leading the way. And obviously we need to not rest on our laurels and continue that work, make sure we're selling out in the Emirates a lot this season, but also to translate that now onto the pitch. Because I think players are coming to Arsenal, players are signing for Arsenal on the back of the fact that when they're going to play in front of 50, 40, 50, 60,000 people at the Emirates, right? And that's, for women's footballers, that's a big thing when they've been used to playing in front of 200 people, 2,000 people. To suddenly be playing in front of that many people, I think that's a big draw. But that's got to translate into winning trophies as well, because players like Mariona Caldente aren't coming to Arsenal to play in front of 60,000 fans. She's coming to Arsenal to win trophies, because that's what she's done all her career. So, we've got to translate that onto the pitch now. We've done brilliant work for 2 years. The club should be massively congratulated on what they've done. Now's the time on the pitch to become the same off the pitch as we are on the pitch as we are off the pitch, in terms of leading the way. And this is our season to do it, I think. I'm really excited. And says their thoughts on Qualifiers. Yeah, we mentioned before, brilliant. We all think she's brilliant. She's going to be brilliant. And we're hoping that we're going to see some magical things from her. We spoke about earlier in the show. Yeah, exciting stuff. Greg says, we're pulling in the money, splash it out of the top midfield player. Yeah, maybe we will. We have just splashed out on some good players as well, though. Let's be real. So, but yeah, I agree. Carlton says she looks like a good one. She does look like a good one. We're excited to see her. How she goes. LG says Jonas out. What a fraud! Come on, you can't say that before the season's even started. He's won us 2 trophies in 2 seasons. Yes, not the 2 trophies we would have necessarily prioritised, but trophies are trophies. And this is the season, though, right? And I know people have got their opinions on Jonas, and I understand why. This is the season now. No excuses. I think 2 seasons ago there was the injury problems that we had, and I think that you could maybe say that winning a Continental Cup was a decent result in the circumstances. Semi-final of Champions League, that was a good season. Last season, we didn't have the pre-season. We went straight into the Champions League. We got knocked out of that, and I think that knocked the stuffing out of us at the start of the season. We never really recovered. And I'm not trying to make excuses for Jonas. That's just what happened. This season, there's no excuses. We've had a full pre-season. We've got pretty much a fit team at the moment. There's no excuses now. And if he doesn't deliver this season, then I'd agree with you. And in May, we can have that conversation, or maybe before May, if the season goes to pot before then. But at this moment in time, I think we've got to be optimistic and expect that we're going to improve on last season. And there's no reason to think that we won't. So we'll see. Terry says class. Yeah, she looks class. Absolutely, she does. Let's give her time, though. She might need a few games in the WSL to settle in, but we don't need to worry about WSL yet. We need to worry about Rangers on Wednesday, because we have to win that game. We can't afford any slip-ups this year, either on Wednesday or on Saturday. Are you there Saturday as well, Andreas, or is it just Wednesday that you're going?
I'm staying in London, and I'm going for the Saturday for the final, hopefully. And on Wednesday, I'm planning to see Atletico versus Rosenborg, just watching our next opponent. And then in the evening, our match. And for Saturday, I have ticket for both matches. I don't want to think about us not being in the final. So we will play in the evening, the final. Yeah, and I'm flying back on Sunday morning. Yeah. Let's see.
Wow.
And yeah. Everything is possible in this season. But what I wanted to add is, when you look at last season, would you say Chelsea had a bad season? They only won the league and nothing else? No, they had a great season. They were in semi-final of the FA Cup, in semi-final of Champions League, League Cup final. They lost in extra time, and they won the league. They had a great season. And if we can have a similar season as Chelsea last season, then we have a really good season, and we should be satisfied. No one can expect you to win the league, to win a cup. It's not plannable. It's football. Everything can happen, and every new match starts with 0-0, and it's always hard work to do. This league has become so competitive, and I think teams like not only United but also Spurs and Liverpool, they are really building something. And I don't think that any top team will be able to win 22 matches. Every team will lose points. There will be matches when we will be disappointed and say, how could we lose this match? How could we lose 2 points there? It will happen to City and to Chelsea too, because the league is more and more competitive. So I don't expect us to win 22 matches and win the league, and if not, say, oh, this was a bad season. No, let's be competitive, and let's make a step ahead from last season, develop the team, and then, hopefully win as much as possible.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think at the end of the day, what you want to see is progression each season, don't you? You want to see the team improving, and this is right. I mean, Anne says I fully supported Jonas, but this year it's make or break. It is absolutely, yeah. This is make or break season. We have to do something big this season, don't we? Now, you know, he's got the players that he's wanted. You're assuming he's got the players that he wanted. We've got a good squad there, and yeah, this is the season to deliver, isn't it? So yeah, and it's not easy, absolutely not easy. I don't want to, you know, it's all very well saying, "Hey, we're going to win 3-4 trophies," and we're capable of it, but it isn't going to be easy to do that, is it? Let's try and win at least one, hopefully a slightly bigger one than we've won in the last couple of seasons, and go from there. And let's see what we can achieve. We can achieve great things, I'm sure. Sam says, "I'm excited just to get back to going out watching all the Arsenal women's home games again." And going to some away games. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's about, isn't it? We just want to watch this team play. They're so exciting to watch. And it's great, isn't it, to be there? So yeah, that's great, isn't it? Greg says, if you're staying in London, be careful what you say. Well, yeah, you've got to be careful what you say. Terry says, where are you staying, Andreas? Uncle Charlie's. I don't think it'll be Uncle Charlie's. Are you staying in your normal hotel, are you?
Yeah, a Premier Inn, but this time close to Paddington Station. There's a new Premier Inn. It's just you go out on the right at Paddington Station, and then up the stairs, and you're in front of this new hotel. It's the first time I'm there. I was used to be a Premier Inn Paddington Basin. Let's check this one.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it'll be a nice place to stay, and obviously lots to do in London anyway, as you know. So I'm sure you'll be through your time in between the two games with lots and lots of exciting things as there is. You might be able to see Amart at London Eye maybe if it's working now, because obviously it wasn't working before, was it? And says Premier Inns are nice. Yeah, they are. You can't knock a Premier Inn. They're generally reasonably priced. They're generally clean and tidy, and they do what they're supposed to do, don't they? Nothing flash, but you know, they've usually got a bar, they've got a restaurant downstairs, haven't they? So you've got everything you need, and I've always liked Premier Inns. I've got no problem with them at all. We've stayed in a few nice Premier Inns over the time. So no, absolutely, yeah. So I'm sure that's going to be good, isn't it? It's good to get down and watch the games anyway. So I'm sure you'll have a great time, and let's hope they're going to be two good results as well that you can enjoy. And then what we'll have to do is we will have to do a show maybe next Friday. You're around next Friday, you will be, won't you?
This Friday, it's the day before the final. Next Friday.
Next Friday, yeah. Is it the 13th?
I'm in Munich. I'm Munich. Women are playing against Leipzig. Friday evening, so I'll be there.
Oh, right. Okay. We might have to. We'll look at when we can do another show, but we'll definitely have a show before the Man City game anyway. Won't be on a Friday because Andreas will be flying, I would imagine. But we'll squeeze a show before Man City anyway. So what we'll do is look back, obviously, on the Champions League, hopefully successful. Yeah, and then we can look at Man City as well. Which will be good. Terry says, in England, Andreas, we call that Buckingham Palace. Yeah, we do indeed. But yeah, so in terms of the channel going forward on, I won't be able to, unfortunately, do Watch Long at a Wednesday game because I've got alternative plans, which I can't change now. So, but I will be doing the Saturday game, which hopefully will be the late one, at 7:30 kickoff game. So I'll be definitely doing that one on Saturday night. So join me for that. And then, of course, I say we'll fit in another women's show before the Man City game at some point in between. Even if we might have to be a little bit more creative with the evenings that we do the show. Obviously, it's a Monday this week, which actually worked quite well. I think Mondays might be a good idea to do maybe this season a bit more. Obviously, Andreas flies over to London on a Friday quite a lot, so Fridays may not be the best evening this season to do regular shows. We'll see. We may throw some Fridays in, but I'm thinking maybe Mondays might work out quite good actually, because Monday's a fairly good night for me to do as well. So, but we'll work it out. We'll get it all sorted anyway. I mean, you know, been lots of people watching tonight, lots of comments. So obviously, you guys have found the show, even though it's on a Monday. So I'm sure you guys will find us where we are. But we'll definitely do a show before the Man City game. Anyway, Terry says, alternative plans. What race you doing? A Great North evening run or something? No, on Wednesday I'm not. No, I'm doing a run on Friday, actually, on Friday evening. So I wouldn't be able to do a show Friday anyway, because I'm doing a race on Friday. But just that I've, see, I didn't know what date this game was going to be on initially. So I've made plans and that's it really. So I'm not going to be, I should be able to watch the second half or some of it. I won't be able to watch the first half. So be a bit nervous looking at the result all the time, seeing how we're getting on. But yes, I can't do the game on Wednesday, unfortunately, but I will be a Saturday, hopefully Saturday night at 7:15, ready for the 7:30 kickoff against whoever it might be, Atletico Madrid or Rosenborg. Hopefully Rosenborg would be nice, wouldn't it? But let's wait and see. So please join me for that. So we will squeeze another show in before the Man City game as well, looking back on the Champions League and looking ahead to the start of the WSL season. Well, what a game that's going to be, actually. Well, I've not really thought too much about it because I want to get the Champions League out of the way. But when you think about it, Man City at the Emirates, Viv coming back, it's so much to enjoy really with that game, isn't it? It's going to be amazing. 60,000 crowd, I'm sure, will be there as well. So yeah, brilliant stuff. So we look forward to that. Terry says, just remember, I did get me a new cup. I'll tell you what, on Sunday, a Saturday night show, I'll premiere the new Arsenal Cup that Terry bought us. Okay, so we'll bring that on the show on Saturday night. So you've got to join us now just for that, really, to see this new cup that we've had. And says we'll be there on the 22nd. Oh, brilliant stuff, good stuff. I'm sure there'll be loads of people there. There's 60,000, I'm sure. We'll be there. It's going to be great. What a way to start the season! But we need to start it by being in the Champions League, don't we? That's so important. So Wednesday night, massive game. Let's start well. Pre-season's been good. The transfer window's been good so far. Let's start the season as we mean to go on. Let's get the win. Let's get this done and let us make sure that we are in that Champions League group stage when it kicks off in October, whenever it is. So yeah, we've got to do it. Of course we have. So that is it. It's not the start of the weekend with the finish. It's the start of the week this time because it's Monday. So unfortunately, we're not starting a weekend, which we normally do. But it is, of course, a massive week for Arsenal, isn't it? We've got 2 games to come. We've got to win. We've got to win them both. No more excuses. And says, is DAZN streaming on Wednesday? I'm not sure if they are. I've got a feeling the Arsenal website might end up showing the game. They might do. I haven't had any confirmation yet, actually, if anyone's showing it. I mean, there's ways of watching it, but I'm not sure if there's any official streams of it. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Arsenal website put it on the app or something, So, but anyway, let's go. Terry says, enjoy Angel, no fighting. No, he's not going to really fight. It's going to be good, isn't it? Which is good. But yeah, so yeah, let's see. I don't know what the streaming is on Wednesday. Is it on in Germany? Is it? They won't be showing it in Germany, will they? I wouldn't have thought.
No, I don't think so. Probably in Germany they will show Eintracht Frankfurt. They are playing the mini tournament in Iceland against Sporting Lisbon on Wednesday. This will be shown on German TV probably, but not the Arsenal tournament. Do you want me to make a match day vlog on Wednesday and on?
Yes. That would be amazing. Yeah, that would be amazing. Can do it.
If our viewers would like to see preparations for the match and until the kickoff, I can do this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, to be honest with you, the ones that you've done previously last season and that, the views that they got, obviously people want to see them. They're brilliant. So yeah, keep them coming. People like watching them and they get a good response as well. So that's great stuff. It's always good to get a little bit of the atmosphere of being in a stadium, isn't it? Especially on these big nights, it's great, isn't it? So yeah, that'd be fantastic. So that'll come up on the channel as well. And we can look forward to that as well, can't we, to see all that great stuff. So yes, we are back for the new season 2024-2025. Is it going to be a glorious season for us? Of course it is. And even if it isn't, it doesn't matter because we'll be here every week throughout the season to chat about this great team. We are hoping that we're going to get some new people involved in the show as well this season. There's 1 or 2 people that we're looking at getting involved. So hopefully, as the season goes on, we can get some new faces on as well to give some different opinions on the team and the games and stuff like that. So that'll be good. But don't worry, Andreas isn't going anywhere. Absolutely not. So he's we can't do a show about Andreas. So he's definitely not going to be going anywhere. So yeah, but that's going to be happening through the season as well. So yeah, if anyone's watching and wants to be on the show, you'd like to come on, even if you just want to come on one week and chat about the team, join in with what we do, then drop us a message or whatever, and we'd love to get you involved if you want to come on and have a chat about this great team. We've got no problems. Anyone can come on. Whether you're happy with the way things are, whether you want to see changes, whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's just get yourself involved. Terry says, we all love listening to Andreas, Elvis the Hit Presley singing Arsenal songs. Yeah, exactly. When we love that, don't we? When the song starts, it's brilliant. Yeah, it's all good stuff, isn't it? So yeah, we'll look out for the vlog on during the week, and of course one at the weekend as well. Hopefully for the final when we've won and gone through to the next little stage, which would be great. So yes, we are back for the new season. Brilliant stuff. It's been a long time, missed it. It's great to be back. Andreas, thank you very much for joining us as always. Have you enjoyed being back on the show? You've had a busy night, haven't you? Because you was on your German show before, wasn't you?
Yeah, I was on the German show the hour before, and I said that I have to leave on point because we are streaming live for the English show, not for the German show. It's only available a day later. So yeah, of course I enjoyed the show, and I'm so glad to be back, and that you're still having me on the show. And yeah, I'm looking forward to a great season, interesting discussions on this show, and hopefully great matches, exciting matches. And yeah, can't wait to get started on Wednesday. So close, and yeah, let's start with a win.
Well, we have to start with a win. Let's be honest, we can't afford to start with anything else other than a win. So I'm sure we'll win on Wednesday, but yeah, let's hope so. So yes, this has been the first in the new season. We've got the 4th season of the Arsenal Women's Show. Well, we can believe that 4 seasons we've been going. It will be the 4th season that we've done this show. Brilliant. And every year it's getting better and better, which is great. And says, great show, Richard, Andreas, lovely chat, and yourself. Yeah, thank you for joining us, Ed. Thanks for your comments as well. If you want to come on, actually, I know you're on other show as well. If you want to come on our show anytime, let us know, because it'd be great to have you on. Terry says, great evening entertainment again from you two, and some great chat from the chat. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's about, isn't it? You guys in the chat always help to push the show along as well with some of the great comments that you bring. A couple of new names in as well. So if you are new here, please consider subscribing as well. I'll be back live on Saturday evening. Well, hopefully Saturday evening, not Saturday afternoon. Hopefully Saturday evening for the final of this little tournament that we're in the Champions League. So look out for that. Join me for that one. Of course, there'll be the vlogs to come as well from Andreas. So look out for them on the channel as well. And we'll be back with another Arsenal Women's Show probably in the next week or so after the Champions League's done, before Man City. We'll do another show, then we'll work it out between us, and we will see you very soon. So yeah, thank you very much to Andreas, of course, as always, for being a part of this great show. Thank you to you guys for watching. I say please like, share and subscribe. I will see you on Saturday, of course, for the live game, which is going to be exciting, isn't it? So well, hopefully it's going to be the right game, and it will be exciting. So join us for that. Yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you very soon. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy Wednesday night. If you're going, if you're at Meadow Park and you see Andreas, do say hello, because he'd like to meet you, I'm sure. So that'll be good. So yeah, look forward to that. Terry says, Greg and everyone in the chat, take care. Come on, you Gunner girls. Indeed. Come on, you Gunners. Let's do this Wednesday. No excuses this year. Let's get it done. We'll see you on Saturday. I say hi to Andreas on Wednesday. We'll see you soon. Ta-da, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.